G'day ladies and gentlemen, the Buttsman here. Hope you good motherfuckers are doing well. I recently did a video about H3 Productions and he's gone on the attack. He's attacked a lot of different people. He's cementing himself as a woke spokesperson and it's very interesting to watch. Just the other week he went after Joe Rogan and I made a video on that because I am the leader of the Joe Rogan Dick Riders. Yes, we all know that Joe is my man crush. Sorry about it, but it's true. On the topic of leader of the Dick Rider party, probably second in line to that is the great Dr. Jordan Peterson. I think he's more of a, I don't really want to say that I'm the leader of the Jordan Peterson Dick Riding party. That sounds a bit rude to talk about a professor that way, so I don't know, I'm the leader of the sucking JP off under the table party. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I love those two dudes. I find them very influential and very interesting people. They have open conversations and different ideas. Now, on the topic of Jordan Peterson, you will find a lot of people that don't like him, right? But you'll also find that those people have never taken the time to listen to who that man is. And that can teach you a lot about a group of people. As for who is Ethan, Ethan Klein is a YouTuber more commonly known as H3 or H3 Productions. Now, he has a massive podcast. He is quite humongous himself. But it's strange to watch him take down people who are in the exact same sphere as him. You see, I use the word humongous there for a very particular reason. He was known for defending the man who went up to a lady and said his name was humongous, right? He was known for the social justice warrior attack videos that he made, the anti-feminist videos that he made. In fact, his YouTube career is based on him taking down feminists. Wow. Talk about sexist. He also destroyed overly politically correct people and he even, what about this, defended the world's most racist person, PewDiePie. Ethan Klein and his wife Hila were known as logical people. They were relatable. They saw the things that we saw and we all were like, what the fuck is this? And they said the same thing and they cracked jokes about it. That's why he became successful. So, Jordan Peterson in the crosshairs of Ethan Klein. Why is this? Why would such a pragmatic individual, an intellectual, be getting attacked by some dude who makes comedy videos on YouTube? Well, you see, Ethan and Jordan Peterson had an interview before. In fact, they had 2 interviews in the past. And if you listen to those interviews, they were actually really great interviews. They both got along and they discussed different topics. Now, you don't have to agree with Jordan Peterson or Ethan Klein on everything, but it's good to have these conversations. So that is the past. And then, just the other day, seemingly out of nowhere, Ethan Klein tweets this. Years ago, I interviewed Jordan Peterson before I was very familiar with his politics. He was an interesting guest who I enjoyed sitting with, but especially now, I can see he's a dangerous gateway to alt-right transphobia and COVID misinfo. I removed both interviews today. He removes both of them. Both of these couple of hour-long interviews because he's realized all of a sudden that Jordan's a bad person. Now that's not the real reason he did that, but I'll get to that later on in the video. As for a gateway to the alt-right, fuck off, Ethan. Fuck off. Is alcohol the gateway to fucking heroin? No, but some people who end up taking heroin at one point had alcohol. Does that mean if someone listens to Jordan Peterson and then in 10 years time they're a fucking Nazi, he is to blame? Of course not. Jordan Peterson has views that go against the mainstream narrative and that's why people hate his fucking guts. How dare he speak in a way that we have not determined is okay? The main issues that people have with Jordan Peterson is what he says about trans people and masculinity, because they are 2 hot button topics, and if you don't toe the party line with that shit, then you are an alt-right transphobic piece of shit. There's no room for any conversation or debate. If you're against them, then you are dead set against them and you are the enemy. Dr. Peterson responded with this. What are you up to, Ethan? We had a good conversation. I enjoyed meeting you and talking with you. What have I said precisely that motivated your actions and your accusations? Deleting our discussion? An honest question. Ethan replied with, to start, You called a ban on conversion therapy moral grandstanding 6 days ago. Now, Ethan meant to say conversion therapy. Come on, Twitter, put a fucking edit button in there. How hard is it? Now, Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, he was talking about this on Twitter. And we know what conversion therapy is. It's the pray the gay away. It's the please God no more dicks, that situation. And a lot of people have really gone through terrible times because of that. And I completely agree that that should be eradicated, all right? You shouldn't be put in one of those camps and try to change who you are. If you're a gay person and you love dicks or you love puss, fuck yeah, let's go. Trudeau said this: it's now illegal to promote, advertise, benefit from, or subject someone to this hateful and harmful practice. LGBTQ2, what the fuck's the two? LGBTQ plus whatever fucking right to human rights. And I completely agree. But as with anything, particularly things that Jordan Peterson says, he has thought these through thoroughly and looked into them thoroughly, and most people will just read the headline. But one of the problems with banning conversion therapy, and let's put that in some quotation marks, is it's not just talking about pray the gay away, okay? It's also referencing certain ways that people might counsel a child if they are 6 years old and they believe that they are a female. Now, if you're a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, and you're starting to think, okay, I need to start taking hormone replacement therapy, or I need to start taking estrogen or whatever, and changing the entire way that your life will be lived and how puberty will affect you, that seems like a situation in which a counsellor should be present, or at least a psychologist or some doctors. Now, if one of those doctors, counsellors, or even a parent was to say to that child, you shouldn't do that because you're actually a boy, and maybe this is a phase, or is this because a few other people in your school have done this, yada yada, whatever the reason may be, or maybe they are trans, fantastic, wonderful, let them do it. Maybe, well, when they're 18. If you question it, then you are now in Canada doing something illegal. This, I think, is what Jordan Peterson was talking about. But of course, we don't look into these things. We just say, you're against gay people, and then everyone blows up and they're angry, and you look at Ethan's tweet and they've got thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of likes because people are like, yes, you got him. You believe in enforced monogamy from the New York Times interview. Now, this is something from the outset that I disagree on. No one should be forced to do anything when it comes to their love lives, including pray the gay away or change what gender you are. You should do what makes you happy. But of course, if you look into these things and not just read one paragraph of the article and actually look into what he said about it, and there is an article written by Jordan Peterson where he goes into depth about this anthropological concept that successful societies have pairs of people, and it's sort of a societal forced monogamy rather than, hey, you need to get married, you need to do that. Because we live in a free society, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Now, obviously, this topic is probably something that he's very familiar with, but the journalist involved, and definitely Ethan, is not even slightly familiar with, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about either. But what Jordan Peterson has gone on to say is that enforced monogamy makes men less violent. So let's look at that for a hot second. Remember, enforced monogamy is not, hey, you need to marry that guy, and girls, you need to have that dude, otherwise he's going to be violent. No. It's not up to women. It's nothing to do with that. It is a societal thing. It's a cultural thing. We all get together, that type of thing. But if you're a dude and you're lonely, etc., you're more likely to be violent. So a society where enforced monogamy, which is not being forced to do anything, it's just how the society works, it's less likely for men to be violent. I guess that's what he means. Your mischaracterization of Bill C-16 resulted in a surge of transphobia. The bill was created to add trans people as a protected group against hate crimes. Using the wrong pronoun would not result in anyone going to jail. In fact, to this day, 0 people have gone to jail. Now, I guess he's right there. And Bill C-16, if you forget, is what brought Jordan Peterson to worldwide fame, because he basically said, and the bill was basically trying to suggest, that you need to call people what they want to be called, and you would be punished with perhaps jail time. Now, that is sort of a hypothetical example. You'd probably just lose your job. The problem with that is enforcing speech. Making people say different words with their mouth should never result in jail time. Now, what happens if Jordan Peterson never speaks up about it? Is it a slippery slope? Do people end up in jail? Possibly. We don't know. Now, people forget this and they always skim over this. Jordan Peterson always fucking said that he would happily call anyone whatever they want, but he shouldn't be forced by law to do it. Jordan Peterson's response to all of this was magical. Also, I should warn you that those who engage in cancel culture generally live to regret it. I'm not going to come after you except politely in this Twitter stream. But the chickens will definitely come home to roost. You will be held to higher and soon impossible to maintain ethical standards by the very mob you wish to please. Then you will make a mistake and they will devour you with glee. Please take this warning seriously. I liked you. Rather than getting angry, Jordan Peterson points out the reason that he believes Ethan's doing this, to appease his new woke mob, his new woke fan base, because Ethan knows, that he has to distance himself from all the bad people out there, the Joe Rogans, the Jordan Petersons. He has to set an example because all of his followers would be sitting at home, rocking back and forth, smashing their antidepressants, thinking about, oh my God, Jordan Peterson is the fucking devil. But that's still not the reason that I think he's doing this. The reason I think that Ethan is doing all of this, the same reason he went after Rogan, and the same reason he's going after Peterson is number one, views. I know that a lot of socialists love him and follow his fucking podcast and that. He's making a fortune, you idiots. He's a great capitalist. Secondly, Ethan Klein is calling out people who he sees as ones spreading COVID misinfo. Both of those men, Joe and Jordan, both questioned the mainstream narrative and actually had long form conversations with other people who question it. And you, Ethan Klein, decided that you are the arbiter of truth and you need to go after them. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to know what you think about this video and what happened with Ethan and Jordan and Ethan and Joe and all of that situation. Let me know in the comments section below. And could you do me a favor? Could you turn your post notifications on? Here, Editor Josh is going to show you how to do it right now. Look at that, easy, right? So every time I post 3 or 4 times a week, you will get a notification on your phone so you can watch it straight away. Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker, peace and Middle East, be dick stings, toodle au revoir, bye bye.